The lonely dance, the sound of footsteps on dewy grass. Morning birds sing in the distance. A soft melody drifts through the cool air. Eleanor arrives at the park as the sun rises. 82 years old. Her white hair is perfectly pinned, but her movements are careful, deliberate. She wears a faded floral dress, the same one she wore years ago. Her hands tremble slightly as she positions her phone on a wooden bench, searching for song. River Flows in You begins to play softly. She starts to dance, alone, in the middle of the empty park. The dew glistens on the grass beneath her feet. Her movements are elegant despite her age, muscle memory carrying her through steps she hasn't taken in a decade. Her arms rise and fall like wings remembering how to fly. Tears stream down her face, not just from sadness, but from something deeper. From longing, from loss, from a man whose name she whispers between each breath. "You're still here, James?" She sways and almost stumbles. Her foot catches on a rise in the ground, and for a moment, she reaches for something that isn't there. But she steadies herself, catching her breath, her hand placed on her heart. The melody swells, and Eleanor closes her eyes. She is no longer in this park. She is in a living room, 40 years younger, in James's arms. They are dancing to this very song. His hand is on her waist. His smile is warm. His eyes see her, all of her. But when the music ends, reality crashes back. The park is silent except for the birds. She is alone. Her shoulders drop. She reaches for the phone and stops the music with a shaky finger. "Foolish woman," she whispers to herself. "Still pretending you're young enough for this." She gathers her things slowly, each movement carefully calculated. The phone goes into a worn brown knit bag. She takes a breath and looks up at the sky. Have you ever danced with a memory you can't explain but can't let go? Share below. This is Eleanor's secret. Her ritual. Every morning before the world wakes, she comes to this park and lets her body remember what her mind refuses to forget. But today, something will change. Today, someone is watching. The stranger. 3 days pass. Same park.
Same time.
Same lonely dance.
Click, click, click.
The sound of a camera shutter breaks the morning silence. Lucas is hidden behind an ancient oak tree, his camera catching light that most people never notice. He is 25 years old, disheveled hair, eyes that search for stories in forgotten corners. A street photographer. A dreamer. The kind of person who sees beauty where others see only routine. He came to photograph the sunrise, but something else captured his attention. Eleanor dances again. This time, Lucas cannot simply pass by. His camera moves with practiced precision, capturing every gesture, every tear, every moment where grief and grace collide in the body of a woman who should have forgotten how to live. The sound of her feet on the ground. The way her dress moves like water around her legs. Her hands opening toward something invisible, or perhaps toward memory. Toward someone who is no longer here. Lucas takes 70 photographs. When the music stops and Eleanor opens her eyes, she sees him stepping out from behind the tree. "Oh!" Eleanor gasps, startled. Her hand flies to her heart. "I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." Lucas raises his hands, the camera swinging from his neck. "I didn't mean to frighten you. I was photographing the sunrise, and then you started dancing and..." Eleanor's face turns white, then red. Her entire body goes rigid. "You were photographing me?" Her voice is sharp with fear and shame. "Yes, but I promise the photos are beautiful. You're beautiful. The way you dance, it's like..." Lucas tries to explain, but he sees the panic in her eyes growing larger, consuming her. Eleanor grabs her bag and walks away quickly. "Wait, please." Lucas follows her. His voice cracks slightly. He swallows hard. "What's your name?" Eleanor doesn't turn around. "That's not your business, boy." "I'm Lucas." "And you?" Eleanor stops. Her shoulders tense beneath the thin fabric of her dress. She still doesn't turn to face him. "Eleanor." "Eleanor," Lucas repeats, as if memorizing a sacred word. "That's elegant." like someone from another era. Eleanor finally turns around. There is fury in her eyes. But beneath it, hidden deep, there is also a single tear sliding down her weathered cheek. Delete those photographs.
Now.
Have you ever been caught living a moment you thought was yours alone? How did you react? The connection 1 week passes. Eleanor returns to the park. She tells herself she doesn't want to see Lucas, but her feet know the truth. She finds him sitting on a bench, waiting. The camera rests on his lap. He looks nervous, his leg bouncing slightly, his fingers drumming against his thigh. "Hello, Eleanor," Lucas says softly when he sees her. "Did you delete the photographs?" she asks, sitting at a safe distance from him. Lucas doesn't answer immediately. He opens the camera and turns the screen toward her. Look. The images shock her. They aren't photos of an old woman being secretive. They are portraits that capture an entire soul. Her elegance, her pain, her strength. In each image, Eleanor doesn't appear fragile. She appears infinite. "Why did you do this?" Eleanor asks, her voice breaking like thin ice. "Because my grandmother died 2 years ago," Lucas begins, staring at the photographs as if seeing them for the first time.
She danced too. Hidden.
Alone. My grandfather died when she was 65, and after that, she never danced in public again. She was afraid. Afraid of judgment. Afraid of seeming ridiculous. Because someone told her that older women shouldn't do certain things. Eleanor feels something shift inside her, like a door opening that she had sealed shut long ago. "I wished," Lucas continues, his voice thick with emotion, "that I had photographed her dancing like this. Just once. Because back then, I didn't understand that every moment with her mattered. And now she's gone. And those memories, I've lost them too." He looks at Eleanor with eyes that seem far older than 25. "When I saw you dancing, I thought of my grandmother. And I decided that this time, I would capture this beauty. Not to humiliate, but to honor." Eleanor sits in silence for what feels like an eternity. Tears flow freely now, unashamed. "My husband was named James," she finally whispers. "He died 10 years ago. He loved to dance. We danced every evening in our living room, with old songs playing on the radio. When he passed, She stops, unable to continue. "You stopped dancing," Lucas says gently.
Yes.
It felt like betrayal. Like continuing to dance meant I had forgotten him. That our memory didn't matter anymore. Lucas extends his hand, not to touch her, but as a gesture. An invitation to possibility. And what if dancing was exactly the way to honor him? To keep his memory alive? My grandmother used to say that dancing is an act of courage. That every movement is a way of telling the world, I am still here. I still have life to live. Eleanor looks at that hand, and for the first time in a decade, she considers that perhaps she has been wrong all along. Have you met a stranger who seemed to understand your soul? Tell us in the comments. The first obstacle, Eleanor returns home. Sleep does not come easily. She sits at her kitchen table with a cup of tea grown cold. On the wall, an old photograph. Eleanor and James, young, at a formal ball. She wears a scarlet dress. He wears a black tuxedo. They smile as if they own the entire world. Eleanor traces her finger across his face. Her phone vibrates. A message from Lucas. Would you do a photo shoot with me? Just you, your movements, your memories. It would be an honor. Eleanor reads the message repeatedly, her hands shaking. She finally responds the next morning. I cannot. People will think I'm ridiculous. A woman my age, dancing for a camera. It's shameful. Lucas replies, why? Such a simple question. Devastatingly simple. Eleanor cannot answer because when she looks at those words, she realizes there is no rational answer. There is only fear. Fear of being seen. Fear of being judged. Fear of being irrelevant. She avoids the park for 3 days. But every evening, she places the song on her speaker, and her body begs to move. Her feet ache for the ground. Her arms long for the air. On the 4th day, the doorbell rings. It is Lucas. He holds a folder decorated by hand. Inside, written in careful letters, it reads, Eleanor, the woman who dances memories. What is this? Eleanor asks, her voice uncertain. It's an invitation, Lucas says softly. His eyes are sincere, without pressure. Not to be photographed. To be honored. Come tomorrow at sunset. Bring your memories. Bring your heart. Eleanor wants to say no. Everything in her wants to say no. But then she notices something. In Lucas's hands, the folder has a faint scent, lavender. Fresh. Hopeful. Like the perfume James used to buy for her. I'll think about it, Eleanor says and closes the door. But her feet have already decided yes. What fear made you say no to something your heart wanted? Share your story. The growing tension the night before the photo shoot. Eleanor remains awake. She pulls a dress from her closet. The same scarlet dress from the photograph. The one she wore when she met James 57 years ago. She tries to put it on, but it no longer fits. Her hands tremble as she removes it, and for a moment, she sinks onto the bed in defeat. She thinks of all the no's that life has placed in her path. No, you're too old. No, people will laugh. No, you should be watching grandchildren, not dancing. Then she remembers something. She opens a drawer beneath her bed and pulls out a collection of envelopes. Letters. Some still sealed. Letters that James wrote before he died. She found them months after his funeral, hidden beneath the mattress like secrets he wanted her to discover only after he was gone. Eleanor opens one at random. My dearest Eleanor, if you're reading this, then I'm no longer there. And you're probably blaming yourself for something, for dancing, for laughing, for living. Don't. Promise me you'll dance after I'm gone. Because if you stop dancing, it's like you've stopped living. And I couldn't bear an eternity knowing you frozen in time because of me. Dance for me. Dance for us both. All my love, James. Eleanor falls to her knees, clutching the letter as if James himself is holding her hand. She reads it again and again until the words blur through her tears. This letter, this moment, this is the tipping point. Have you found a message that changed how you see life? Tell us below. The moment of pain sunset arrives. Eleanor stands in the park. Only she and Lucas. Are you ready? Lucas asks, camera in his hands. Eleanor shakes her head.
No.
But I'm going to do it anyway.
Why?
Because my husband asked me to. 10 years ago, he asked me, and I didn't listen. Lucas lowers his camera. Do you want to talk? Eleanor sits on a bench. Lucas sits beside her, not too close, just close enough to show he is there. When James died, Eleanor begins, her voice barely above a whisper. I thought I should stop living too. As if love required death. As if remembering meant freezing in place. I stopped dancing. I stopped laughing loudly. I stopped existing really. She pauses, breathing deeply. And then a stranger appeared in my park and told me that dancing is an act of courage. And my heart screamed that it was true, that I had wasted a decade in false devotion. Lucas places his hand over hers. It is warm. It is real. The sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink, and Eleanor's face is lit by this golden light. Did you waste it? Lucas asks gently. I don't know. I was grieving. And grief is a form of love too, isn't it? Yes, Lucas says. But so is living. Eleanor looks at him, at this young man, this stranger, who knows her soul better than some people who have known her entire life. Do you think James would be proud if I danced again? I'm certain of it, Lucas responds. Because that man loved you. And when you love someone, you want them to live fully. Eleanor dries her tears with the back of her hand. Then let's do this, she whispers. Let's dance. As the sun drops lower, the air between them seems to grow heavier. Not with sadness, but with the weight of words finally spoken, of burdens finally shared. Have you ever felt that stopping your life was a way to love someone? Share your story. The beginning of transformation. Lucas's camera begins to work. But this time, Eleanor is unafraid. A song plays, At Last by Etta James, accompanied by violin. Lucas's choice is perfect, a song about rediscovery, about finding what was thought to be lost forever. Eleanor stands. Her movements are slow at first, measured, careful, but as the music flows through her, her body remembers. Oh, how her body remembers. She extends an arm as if holding James's hand. She completes a spin, the way they dance together in their living room. She tilts her face toward the sunset, and for a moment, her face truly glows, as if an internal light has been relit. A light that had been extinguished for a decade, but was never truly gone. Lucas photographs every second, and he also cries, because he is witnessing a miracle, a resurrection. A woman finally allowing herself to live again. "You're beautiful," Lucas whispers while the camera clicks. "I feel home," Eleanor responds, still dancing. The music continues for 3 more minutes. Eleanor dances as if there is no tomorrow, as if each movement is a celebration of being alive, of being here, of mattering. The wind caresses her dress like a lover's touch. She laughs, a genuine, childlike laugh that hasn't escaped her lips in so long she has forgotten the sound of her own joy. When the music ends, Eleanor is breathless, but her face radiates something that no cosmetic could ever create. "You did this?" Lucas asks, showing her the camera. "No," Eleanor corrects, taking his hand. "We did this. Together." When was the last time you felt truly free? Tell us in the comments. The emotional climax 1 week later. Lucas publishes the photographs on Instagram. The title is simple: Eleanor, the woman who dances memories. It becomes viral. 5,000 comments on the first night, 10,000 on the second. Local news stations pick up the story. Hashtags begin trending. Hashtag Eleanor dances. Hashtag never too late. Hashtag dances courage. Eleanor, who has never had Instagram, receives calls from strangers. People who saw the photographs and wept. Women who said, "I stopped doing what I loved too. You made me want to begin again." Men who said, "I saw my mother in your face. My mother also stopped dancing after my father died." A university invites Eleanor to give a lecture on grief and rediscovery. A television network reaches out for a documentary. But the most important call comes from far away. Mom, a voice Eleanor knows but hasn't heard in months. It is Grace, her daughter. "Grace? Sweetheart. Mom, I saw the photographs. I cried for an hour. I didn't know you still." Eleanor hears her daughter's voice tremble. "Mom, why didn't you tell me about your pain? Why didn't you let me help?" Eleanor feels something shatter inside her chest. All those separations, all those years of silence, because she thought she should carry the pain alone. "I was wrong," Eleanor whispers. "I was so wrong, my dear." "Come here," Grace pleads. "Come spend a week with me. Bring Lucas too. We'll celebrate you, Mom. We'll dance together." For the first time in 10 years, Eleanor allows herself to believe that perhaps life still has beautiful things reserved for her. One comment stands out among thousands. A simple message from a woman named Sarah. "You made me call my mom after years. We danced together in her kitchen. Thank you." Who do you need to call today to heal a void, comment, and inspire others? The resolution and reunion 3 weeks later. A dance studio at a local university. Eleanor, Lucas, and Grace stand in front of 30 women, ages ranging from 30 to 90. All came because they saw Eleanor's photographs. All came seeking permission to live. "They're here because of you," Lucas whispers to Eleanor as she prepares. "No," Eleanor corrects, squeezing her daughter's hand. "They're here because of themselves. Because they saw in me the permission they were searching for. That I also had to learn to give myself." Eleanor stands. "Hello, everyone," she begins, her voice steady and strong. "My name is Eleanor. I'm 82 years old. My husband died 10 years ago. And for those 10 years, I stopped doing something I loved deeply, dancing." She pauses, letting the weight of those words settle. "I thought that by stopping, I was honoring his memory. But I discovered I was only paralyzing my own life. So today, I'm here to tell you, don't do that. Don't abandon the things that make you feel alive, because life is too short for that. Eleanor plays a song, What a Wonderful World, in an acoustic cover. The melody is gentle but strong, and Eleanor dances. This time, she is not alone. Grace dances with her. Lucas captures every moment. And then, one by one, every woman in the studio stands and begins to dance. The space transforms into celebration, into liberation, into collective rediscovery. The sound of shoes echoing on the floor becomes like a heartbeat, many hearts beating as one. The workshop becomes a sanctuary where permission is finally granted. One participant, a woman named Margaret, who is 70, approaches Eleanor afterward with tears streaming down her face. "You made me dream again," she says simply. Later, after the workshop, Grace embraces Eleanor for a long time. "I lost you too," Grace whispers. "When Dad died, you left as well. I didn't know how to bring you back." Eleanor holds her daughter close, feeling the weight of lost time, but also the possibility of the future. "I'm here now, sweetheart. Finally, I'm here." What dream do you want to bring back to life? Share in the comments. The conclusion, a life that shines again 2 months later. The stage of a local theater. Eleanor stands in a single spotlight. She wears the scarlet dress, the one that no longer fit, but that she altered with her own hands. Her white hair is adorned with a simple golden clip. Her hands no longer tremble. The music begins. Unforgettable plays, instrumental, string soaring. The same song Lucas heard that morning in the park when everything changed. But Eleanor is not alone. In the audience, Grace sits with tears in her eyes. Lucas holds his camera, but this time, he lets the moments simply pass through him without capturing them all. Some things are too sacred to frame. The 30 women from the workshop are here, having become Eleanor's dance family. They sway in their seats, moved by the journey they've all shared. And near the back, there is an elderly man, a stranger to Eleanor, who watches with an intensity that speaks of recognition. His own wife used to dance. His own wife stopped after he retired. He wipes a tear from his weathered cheek and makes a promise to himself. Tomorrow, he will ask her to dance. As Eleanor moves across the stage, her face glows beneath the spotlight, a warmth that seems to come from within, as if James himself is lighting her path. As if he is dancing alongside her, finally at peace, watching his Eleanor live. She lifts her hands to the sky, palms open, as if greeting someone she cannot see, but whose presence she feels everywhere, in the music, in the light, in the beating of her own brave heart. When the music reaches its crescendo, Eleanor spins, and for just a moment, her dress catches the light and seems to shimmer like starlight. The applause is thunderous, but Eleanor barely hears it. She is somewhere else. She is with James. She is dancing in their living room. She is young again. She is whole again. As the lights fade to black, we see Eleanor one last time, still moving, still breathing, still beautiful, and then there is nothing but the faint echo of music and the certainty that some dances never truly end. Because at 82 years old, Eleanor learned what she should have known all along. You are never too old to rediscover who you are. You are never too late to dance. You are never too late to shine. The spotlight fades, but Eleanor's light continues to burn. If this story touched your heart, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, and share it with someone who needs a new spark in life. Tell us in the comments, what moment made you believe it's never too late? Speech Balloon, leave a powerful like and join Blaze's mission to transform lives. Thank you for being here.